In a recent interview with Aaron Rodgers, Kyle Brandt called him the best quarterback to ever play the position. So you've had some opinions on Aaron Rodgers in the past.
Yeah.
Have you ever thought of him as the best quarterback ever?
Well, so there was a point in time where I thought Aaron Rodgers was the most talented quarterback ever. And I still think he's probably the second most now to Patrick. And there certainly was a point in time where I thought Aaron Rodgers at his apex was the highest level the position had ever been played. So I buy that. But that is such a huge delta between that and the best quarterback to ever play the position. And I thought, listen, credit where it's due. I thought Kyle did a really nice job in that interview, and I thought Aaron came across as downright charming. So, it doesn't change my opinion on what the Steelers season's going to be like, but I thought that was a really good 10 minutes of media. With all that said, this is one of those opinions, DeMonze, that I think is not an allowed opinion. I know people don't like when I say that. So they're like, everyone's entitled to their opinion. Certain opinions, there are certain opinions that are so far outside anything that is legitimately arguable that you can't have it. So, there is... Go ahead.
No, so, you thought he was why can't... How is that one? How can you not even make that argument? It's a take that you can't have. I don't wonder.
Well, because
you just said,
there is...
You were saying he was the best. You thought he was the most skilled football player. Or quarterback,
at a point in time, but then someone more skilled came along. So
right. There's just one guy.
Right, so you can't be so here's the problem. The problem is, in order to make an argument that someone is, let's take basketball for a minute, okay? There are 6 people that you are allowed to have the opinion are the greatest of all time. And it might just be 5, but I'll extend it to 6. And those 6 are, and the reason that I'm saying there's only 6 you're allowed, I really think it's only 3, but I'm trying to be as liberal as possible with this here, is because you can point to something as their thing that they were just the best at, head and shoulders. You know what I mean? That's what I'm hanging it on. So if you want to say Bill Russell's the greatest ever, you can just kind of start and end with the 21-0 in elimination games throughout his career, in winner-take-all games, 11 championships, 8 in a row. It's okay, simple. You want to argue Wilt? It's just dude averaged 50 a game and more than 48 minutes a game in a season, scored 100 points in a game. You know what I mean? Intuitively, you understand the argument for it. Kareem, greatest high school player ever, greatest college player ever, most MVPs of anyone ever, had the super long career, success, all of it. The Jordan LeBron arguments we've all had before. We don't have to get into them right now. It's obvious what those guys are. And then the 6 that I would add, if you really want to squint hard enough, Magic. Greatest passer ever, changed the game, career cut short due to a virus that, that had nothing to do with basketball. The instant impact as a rookie, being the best player in the deciding game of the championship round. Those are the guys. But if someone tries to make the argument, and I'm not picking, let me not even start with him. Someone tries to make the argument, Larry Bird's the greatest player of all time. The problem is there is not a single thing you can say Larry Bird's the greatest at. Not one thing. You know what I mean? If somebody tries to make the argument, Steph is the greatest of all time, that there is now there is something you can say he's the greatest at, greatest shooting, but the other gaps in the resume compared to the guys he's competing against prevent it. With Kobe, who some people try to make the case for, the problem is it's very, very hard, if not impossible, to make the argument that Kobe was better than the guy that he modeled himself after in Michael. You know what I mean? Michael has him kind of clocked in every category. So how are we, how are we getting there? So when it comes to the greatest quarterback ever, what is in 2025 the argument for Aaron Rodgers? There isn't one anymore. Oh, his regular season accomplishment with Peyton's got him killed. It's certainly not the winning. And if it's just like eye test, raw ability, creativity, Mahomes lapped him. So he has nothing to hang his hat on anymore.
The spiral
so it's
on the
just,
ball.
It's just, well, again, Dan Marino might have him in that. There's not, there for real. You just have to have, there's got to be something that is ironclad about your case, and then the rest you can massage if you want to have a viable opinion. And so I just thought calling Aaron, who doesn't have the greatest stats of any quarterback ever. They're great, but it's not the best. Doesn't have the most MVPs of any quarterback ever. It's the second most, but it's not the most. Certainly doesn't have the wins. Doesn't have the most raw athleticism of any quarterback ever. Doesn't, and no longer holds the title for, most natural ability. So if you weren't ever the best at anything, how could you be the best ever? This is not a viable opinion. And so I know that's going to sound dismissive, but it's just not a loud opinion. Sorry. There has to be some standards. We live as I said to the guy 2 years ago who was walking his dog, watched his dog go to the bathroom, look at it, and then walked away. As I said to him, I will say now, we live in a society. You have to do your part. What are you shaking your head about, Devontae? This guy,
society.
This guy, hold on. I know that incident that I'm discussing there is this guy would every day walk 2 blocks from his house to the block we live on, have his giant cane torso, use the bathroom, and then walk back home. And I finally caught him, and I was like, you know what? We're just gonna have it out, man. And he apologized and then pretended to clean it up, and then hurriedly walked away when he thought I was gone. So I chase him down and say, hey, man, we live in a society. I did. I didn't know what else to say. I'm not going to say I'm going to fight you. I'm going to try to just guilt you.
We live in a society. We
live in a society. Do your part. Well, do your part, man. And in the sports take game, we live in a society. You can't just come out there with takes that are indefensible. I'm not saying the takes have to be right, but you have to be able to defend them. That's all.